Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to get stuck right in. We are going to be building a rustic farmers market. Ever since the release of Business and Hobbies, I have been a little bit obsessed with making shops, and here in the UK, I'm sure it's like this in other countries as well, we have quite a lot of like little farm shop, and that is really where I want to take the inspiration from this. So that is why I'm going for this particular style of house, and I want to have like a nice little cozy rustic feeling farmer shop where you can actually sell real produce that you grow in the game. So for this kind of inspo, the theme here is obviously rustic, but I really want to add some of my favorite color, which is of course green, and that's why I've gone with that roof. I also think that these doors are perfect, and I thought we need a little bit of windows in here as well, so I've added them in. But this kind of open area I think is where I'm going to want to have like lots of like clutter and things. I also found this sign which I thought made it a really nice kind of detail for the farm shop. I feel like farm shops, they normally like name of the family as well, and so that was quite nice having that little font there as well. Obviously some rustic pillars, we would not be complete without that. And yes, I always forget to add the wallpaper on all of my house going around, so that is me doing that. And then I decided to try and add in some trims here just to kind of make it match with the doors and the pillars. I don't think I could really find one that matched exactly, so this was as close as we could get, again with the floor as well. It is slightly darker, but it is close enough, I think. I decided to add in some path here, but the kind of fixed placement wasn't working for me, so I decided to switch it all out and we'll go with some terrain paint. Here I was like, this isn't going to be enough room, so we had to kind of delete all of that, move the house, and then go in again. Here's me being indecisive. I couldn't decide what floor to use, and then I thought, it's a farm, there's going to be lots of mud, so we have to use some mud here and there. And then I was scrolling through, I found this chicken, and I decided the chicken is going to be the mascot for the whole farm shop. So that is why they are taking pride of place there in the middle of the farm shop there. I feel like this kind of corrugated metal kind of really does speak to me as a farm, which makes sense because I think it came from the cottage living pack. And then we're going to add some foliage because I really want to make it like a nice little kind of rustic entrance to the whole farm shop, make it feel like it does belong on a farm. I'm just trying to pick out what kind of patterns and what different foliage I want to use, so I know that I can just go in and quickly grab them later. And there is so many nice pieces, particularly from the cottage living and the ranch, which work for kind of the clutter that I'm going for here. I do have debug turned on, which is where I think this hay trailer comes from. So if you aren't using debug, I highly recommend it for this. I would love it as just like a normal piece of furniture in the game. I think it works really nicely, particularly for the farms. And then I'm just trying to find and pick out all of those different kind of farm related garden items. Again, really like this kind of wheelbarrow thing. I guess it's not a wheelbarrow, it's more of a cart, but it's really perfect for the kind of style that I'm going for here. I didn't quite like that one, but there was still some other good stuff, like this chicken. Who doesn't want a chicken at their farm shop? I feel like it ties in nicely with the sign as well at the top. When I found these hay bales, I was like, yes, perfect as well. I think we're going to have to like add nods of these everywhere. I know it feels like something that I do in Animal Crossing when you like pop down little random hay bales everywhere. It has no purpose, but I think they look cute, and obviously they contribute to the whole rustic feeling. I decided to add some stone edging to the path here just to kind of break it off a little bit and just add some detail. This is one of the great tricks that I have learned from watching people. Don't ask me where I got it from, but it is such a nice kind of detail, I think. I would love to see more kind of different ways like this in the game, or more different kind of styles of rock would be nice as well. So just moving some things around here, and obviously a farmer's market, we need some baskets here, and I did decide to go for these nice looking rustic lanterns as well. Again, these are from the ranch pack. As much as I'm not really a horse person, but I actually did really love that pack, particularly for the furniture stuff. It's a very kind of distinct style, but I think you can really make it work. I wanted to use this fencing, but then I was like, it's not really kind of that rustic. It's very cute, don't get me wrong, but I just thought this one actually fitted a little bit better, and it allowed me to tie in a little bit of the green as well. Obviously, I did have to make some fixes after it destroyed my what do you call it, the trim as well. So that was a little bit of a boo-boo. And some windows. I think, again, these are from the ranch pack. They just all really tie nicely in with the other windows that I've used, so I thought that would be a good kind of way to go. And then I decided, before I add in like the bigger foliage and more foliage, to kind of decorate up on this platform area. So as I said, I really wanted it to make it feel like somewhere that they're displaying items, and something that's like a little bit cluttered. I did struggle a little bit with knowing what to put here. I thought this bench was really nice, and I decided that it would be a good place to kind of display lots of like little plants and things, which I feel like is very fitting. If you go to like a little farm shop, they normally have little things like this out front. And then I also did find this one. Love this item, so pretty. It's so perfect for like cottagecore builds and stuff. I did decide to delete that barrel thing out. I am still a massive fan of barrels, don't you worry. And then here are the little plant pots. These items are so cute. They're from a little kit, I believe, and they just look adorable. I have done a greenhouse, which is actually available on my Sims page, and I think it should be available if you want to download it as well. That one was really cute as well, very cottagecore. If you want to check it out, my gallery ID is Flares with 2 Y's on the end, so Flaresy. That's also my Twitch name, just a little subtle self promo there. But if you want to check out my gallery, you can do. At the minute, I'm going through a massive thing of creating bedrooms, so there is quite a lot of bedrooms on there. But if you want to see more, I think I'm going to kind of collate them in a video coming in the future, so I will bring them to my YouTube channel as well if you can't find me on the gallery. So here are the trees I decided for. I'm not going to show it, but I did go through a lot of different trees trying to decide what was best. I do feel like some of the trees in the game are not my favorite, so I did kind of settle on these, and I found some yellow bushes as well, which I thought would be nice to try in the sunflowers. I did want some like little accents of sunflowers here and there. I didn't want to go over the top with them, but I just thought sunflowers, they're happy, they're nice to add in, so they do feel very farmy as well, so I thought that was nice. And then wanted to add in another tree and decided to just make it a little bit more interesting, have different sizes. And then we're inside, and I forgot to delete this wall. We don't need that wall there. And then obviously I'm trying to use the same exterior paint as I did on the interior, just because I feel like it's very like rustic, rough on the edges. There's not going to be like time to kind of paint everything over, so I'm not against having the same paint on the outside and the inside. So this is where I decided that we will put the main counter. So this is going to be where everyone pays for their stuff, and I wanted it, again, it's very woody, it looks quite rustic. I think it fits in. How many times am I going to say rustic in this video? I honestly do not know, but there is going to be a lot of it. And then I was just playing around with what items would really kind of fit. I feel like when you go to farm shops and just shops in general, they normally have lots of stuff on the counters, like special offers and things like that. So that's why I wanted to add in some extra like goodies here, just to make it a bit more interesting, so it's not just a boring old counter. And I wanted to get in lots of like country feel, like painting and wall art, so there is going to be a lot of that, because I want it to be like advertisements and things like that, which is where I was going for with this. These curtains are some of my favorite in the game. I don't know if that's surprising, probably not. They are so cute and adorable, and I think that they really are kind of like a farmy shop vibe, so I wanted them definitely. And then I was just playing around with lots of different items that I think you would find in a farm shop. This crate of nectar, maybe perhaps not all farm shops would have a license to sell alcohol like this, but mine does apparently. And then this farm shop is apparently going to be award winning. We're going to have rosettes and certificates and stuff. I nearly put a lamb down, then I remembered the mascot for this farm shop is the chicken, so we had to sort them out. And I tried to make my rosettes as equal as possible. Now looking at them, I don't think they are, so that's a little bit wonky. I will try and fix that if I go back into the game and remember. But yeah, they're definitely not even. Oops. And then down here is where I decided, first of all, to put lots of refrigerators. Now, I didn't really think this through because I really wanted this to be able to be used functional. I haven't play tested this build yet, but I will do it because I want to see if you can actually kind of use it as a functional shop here. I feel like you should be able to, but the fridges in hindsight, as cute as they look and as fitting as they do feel for like a farm shop for like selling their cheese and milk and all of that good kind of dairy stuff, and you need a fridge to put it, I don't think those you can obviously display items in for sale, which is a little bit sad. So I did switch that out later. Here I decided to make a little feature. The area of the shop, because it's not a square, I had to kind of think about how I was going to display the items. So I put the counters in here and then the tables on the outside. I'm going to add some decoration to the tables so it's feel like a seasonal kind of display area, and I thought it would be cute. Here is the point where I realized about the fridges, so I decided to kind of take them out. I don't know, maybe 4 fridges was overkill, and I kind of thought it was because I ended up removing some and going in with some shelves. I really like the Business and Hobbies pack, but I do wish that there were better shelf options or more shelf options, because the glass ones don't really fit with this vibe. Most of the other shelves are very kind of modern feeling, so again, that wouldn't have worked with this. Maybe I'm just being really nitpicky, but I would really love more shelf options, just because making shops is so much fun. Making houses is obviously fun too, but adding in shops and playing around and then getting to actually play them and see them in reality is a lot of fun. It's a really fun way of gameplay for me anyway. A lot of people might just be like, no, it's not for me, but I really do like it. And then here are the hay bales that I was talking about, and I found this little picnic basket as well, which I thought was really cute, so I wanted to add like little dots of them around. I tried using this item because I did think that it kind of fitted with the whole kind of farmy feel, but the colors of these are not my favorite. I really like the idea of them, like the milk churn with the flower coming out the top, but actually in practice they don't look as good as I thought they would. And then for the walls, I just was kind of struggling to find some more stuff to add, and I found this clock, which I thought was kind of cute. It's not necessarily kind of obvious that you would put that in a farm shop, but I thought it worked. And then pumpkins. I decided that pumpkins were going to be my main feature for the center table here, because there is lots of different varieties, and I really do like the way that they look. They just look great on a table, so they are a real centerpiece. And then to kind of add in some different stuff around that, I added some more of these little plant pot things, and also wanted some different kind of like things like the plants, the bigger plant pots, and also I think we found some jars as well. So just a mixed match of things, really, just to add kind of clutter and some detail and just really make it look like the staff have kind of set it up ready for like the season or whatever. And then here is where I was trying to just play around with some more stuff, but it wasn't quite working. I think that was kind of good enough. And then to fill in the details, we added this little planter. That one just wasn't hitting, but it just looked a little bit too big. The kind of problem that I was having here was that we don't have a lot of space down the right hand side, so I was trying to really make good use of the space without it being too kind of cluttered. I love clutter, but I'm really trying to teach myself that you don't need all of it all the time, and it's a little bit hard, because if I was in a different game, maybe I would have just filled up that whole right hand side, but in fact you wouldn't want that, because you wouldn't be able to get to buy the stuff, which wouldn't be good. But a sign was definitely there. I still don't even know if you can actually access the sign. Maybe I should check that perhaps. I found these little pots and I was like, I don't know where to use them, but I think on top of the little dresser there kind of worked. And this meat sign was really speaking to me as well, because maybe we've got the meat in the fridge and then the sticker for the cake. These are just cute, and I think that they just add some charm to the build perhaps. The little sticker that I was trying to find, or wall item that I was trying to find here, I struggled a little bit. Perhaps it wasn't needed, but in the Business and Hobbies there is a little kind of icon pack here, and there's one with a croissant, which I thought, yeah, baked goods. You sell that in a farm shop as well. And then really here we are just kind of trying to add in those finishing touches, some more little wall items, I think, just to really make it feel higgledy-piggledy. Lots of character, lots of charm is really what I wanted from this. So I think that gives it that kind of rustic farm shop feeling edge. And I will wrap it up with some little snapshots of it. I really hope you enjoyed this build. Again, I will upload it to the gallery and you can give it a try. Don't forget to like and also subscribe, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. But I will see you again next week with another Sims build. Bye bye!